Hello, hello, hello. Yay, I'm now live. Welcome to Raincross Farms Makery. I am Robin, and apparently I am officially out of Facebook jail. Woohoo! Anyway, so this is my first live after 30 days of being wrongfully accused of inciting violence, but I am back and I am a reformed woman. Anyway, again, I'm Robin. This is Raincross Farms Makery. The voice you hear but face you don't see is my husband Bill.
And that's where everybody likes it.
It's not true. Anyway, we welcome you to our little craft studio. We've got a I always say we have a fun little craft. We have a fun craft tonight to show you. It's kind of a Halloweenish, autumnish craft. We are going to make a cute little scarecrow. And I do have to tell you, I am totally stealing this from my upline, Brittany. She did this today, and I thought it was so cute, and so she knows. But I'm stealing her idea. I think with her blessing. Let me pull up the video on my phone so I can see comments a little bit closer. There we go. So welcome. When you join us, say hello. Let us know you're out there so we know who we're talking to. And if you are watching and there's a red box up here that says live, you're watching us in real time. And if it's not there, you're watching the replay. That's all well and fine. We are glad to have you whenever you can join us. Please comment #replay so we know when you caught us. So let's see. Of course, any lives, if you've watched any lives, all of us people who do lives appreciate it when you can do these things for us. It helps us with getting seen on Facebook. So if you could like or love our page, follow our page, sprinkle out our video to your page, to any craft groups that you might belong to, we would certainly appreciate that. Hello, Melissa. Thank you so much for sprinkling, and thank you so much for the stars. Yes, we do have stars activated. Thank you so much. We appreciate all of your support in any of those things. Okay, so Scarecrow tonight. We are going to make it using, this is one of our simple shape rectangles. It is, I believe it's 5 inches by 12 inches. So if you can get yourself a board this size or roughly this size, kind of a long rectangle, that'll be great. If you can't get one, I sell these in my shop in a pack of 2. They're totally awesome, pre-painted, whitewashed wood. Oh, just waiting for my notification. Welcome, Brittany. Yep, I'm stealing your idea. Thank you so much for the inspiration. Maybe we'll post a who did it better, and it will obviously be you. Anyway, so we're going to use a rectangular, simple shape rectangle, and then we may end up using one of our smaller simple shapes, either our square or our round, to make a little stand for it. So put that aside, and we're going to give it a little top hat, and so we're going to use a paint stir stick to kind of make the brim of his hat. So pretty cool. That's what we're going to do. And then to use his face, we are going to use our pumpkin face transfer because it'll be really, really cute. Okay, so we're going to start with some painting. And again, pop on, say hello when you're here. I'm going to trim these down. And I'm not going to make my husband go out to the garage and get the chop saw.
Yay.
I'm just going to do it myself. So let me show you how you can do it yourself if you don't have a husband or a chop saw. Okay, I'm going to use a utility knife. And these are the paint stir sticks. They're the 1 gallon size. They are about 12 inches long. I get these at Home Depot. I imagine any hardware store that sells paint would have these. You can get them in a pack of 10 for a couple of bucks or like $1.50. But if you're just getting 1 or 2, you might be able to snag them for free. So it's got this little dent here. I guess that's where you hold it when you stir the paint. Well, I'm gonna cut it off right at that point. So I'm gonna get my little ruler here, and that's right at about 9 inches. So I'm gonna line that up. And I'm going to take my utility knife. This type of thing got me landed in jail, so I'm going to be very careful what I say. So I'm going to use this to score. That's an okay word, right? To score this paint stir stick. So I'm just going to score it a couple of times. Once it gets deep enough, I can move the ruler. And then here's the key. I'm going to flip it over to the other side. Pour it right at that same measurement. I've got just a little over 9 inches. And I'm going to score it at that same measurement so it's completely lined up front and back. And score that a couple of times. Close that up so you don't injure yourself. Now, it's scored top and bottom, so watch this. I'm just going to go boop, and it cuts in half. No chop saw, no husband. That's kind of
Wow.
That's kind of sexist, isn't it?
Is useless.
No, you're not. No, you're not. So I'm going to take my little sanding block and just kind of sand off that edge. Okay, so say hello if you're out there. I see some of you watching. I see Brenda is out there watching. Say hello. Okay, so we are going to paint this up. Set that aside. Now I'm going to kind of mark this where I want the brim of his hat to sit. And I'm going to use some of my placement tape. And I'm going to tape that off because the top part is going to be a dark brown, but the bottom part is going to be a lighter brown, kind of like a burlap color. Because I would think, isn't that what you use to make Scarecrow faces?
I would think so.
So I'm just
seed sacks is what they used to
seed
do.
sack. Okay. I'm going to put that there.
Of course, apparently my mother used to make underwear out of her seed sack. So
seed sack?
Exact ways.
Okay. And I'm actually going to I'm going to tape the back. I'm going to paint the back too. I'm going to do a two-sided scarecrow. I'll line this up. So it's the same. I like to paint the backs of my crafts, especially if I'm going to be selling them at a craft fair. I just think it makes it look finished. It makes it look really nice. But you know what? Even if you're doing it for yourself, you deserve things to look really, really nice. Okay. So we've got that angle. So it's going to go like that. So let's get to painting. I'm going to use chalk paint. This is Waverly brand. I'm pretty sure I got this at Walmart or any craft store, or Joann's has some brand of chalk paint. I like using chalk paint because it adheres really well and it dries really fast. This color is Truffle, which is a dark brown. Let me get a brush. And so this top part, paint on this. This top part is going to be brown and the brim of the hat is going to be brown. I've got that marked off. Hey Cheryl, hello. Glad you're here. How's your fingers? I know you said you've been working your little fingers to the bone, so you have bones at the end of your hands, huh? Still working hard?
And well, I'd click hello on there for you, Cheryl, but I'm busy picking apricots we picked.
Yes, we picked some apricots. And are we going to jam them or are we going to dehydrate them?
Bad pretty quick if we don't take care of them.
Okay, so I'm going to do the edges. And like I said, I'm going to also do the back so that I could do a two-sided scarecrow. I chose to. I'm going to let that dry. I'm going to paint my paint stick. My paint stir stick. paint the edges first.
Hey, she got her tier tray today.
Oh, did you?
She's a happy camper.
Yay.
And our kids got home.
Oh, your hits pretty close. Today wasn't too bad, only to list 6 kittens. Oh, that's right. So you're working for someone who is selling purebred kittens. Is that correct? So I imagine you have to do all those cute little listings of those cute little kitten faces. And I'm betting you're wishing you could adopt them all. Okay, so I'm gonna dry this just a little bit so I can turn it over. A professional cat breeder. That's what I said, right?
That's what you said.
A person who sells purebred cats. In one word. Okay, so I'm gonna dry this up. I don't know if you heard, we are going to be making a cute little scarecrow for autumn or for Halloween. Scarecrows aren't necessarily a Halloween thing, but I've dressed, it's kind of been a go-to Halloween costume. You just put on some overalls and a plaid shirt, and you're good to scare. Good to scare. Now you do everything from editing the photos to designing and maintaining. I gotta hire you to do our website. Continue to work your fingers to the bone. Those cats live better than most people. I bet they do. I bet they do.
If I hired her, she could buy more.
That's true. If I hire you, you could more money for chalk. Less money for me, but okay. I'm going to dry that, and I'm going to flip this over. One thing I like about chalk paint is it's generally I can get something done in just a single coat. It depends on the color of chalk paint. The darker ones generally cover really, really well, and it also depends on the surface that I'm putting it on. So a white surface can be a little difficult to cover, but because it's such a deep dark brown, I'm thinking I can get it covered in one coat. I can coat that in one coat. Okay, so I have dressed up for Halloween as a scarecrow. Tell me what you have dressed up as for Halloween, ever, whether you're a child or whether you did it as an adult.
I dressed up as Fred Flintstone.
Yes, you did, and I was Wilma. I dressed up, I dressed up as a jailbird one year. That was when my son, that would have been 36 years ago, 35 years ago, because my son was less than 1 when I did that. Okay, so the top part is done. I'm going to dry it, and then we're going to paint the bottom half of this. This is going to be all brown. This is going to be his little top hat. It's going to be brown. Farmer Brown is dressed up as a prisoner for Mardi Gras years ago. Let's see, one year as a child, I dressed up as a princess, and once I dressed up as a bride. Those are the only 2 I remember. Oh, one time I was an old housewife. I was wearing an old fuzzy robe and curlers in my hair.
Well, that was one time.
Yeah, that was. I have dressed up as, I don't know if that was for Halloween. I dressed up as Lady Liberty, the Statue of Liberty.
You did that for school.
But I did that for school because I was teaching patriotic symbols one year. I became the Statue of Liberty in my classroom. That was fun. I don't remember if I ever wore that for Halloween though.
Yes, you did.
Did I? I still have it. Maybe this Halloween I'll dress up like that for y'all.
You're gonna dress up for me?
For y'all, not you. Okay, so this is dry. This is going to go there. Now we're going to paint this bottom section. We're going to paint it this is cashew chalk paint color, cashew. And I made a mess there. Okay, so this is going to cover this, so I'm not too worried about that line. Get another brush, and we're going to paint this. If I start with the edges first.
I'm thinking we've got enough apricots here for jam.
You think so?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be good jam. We let them go a little bit too long, actually, so I think they're a little soft for canning pieces. But I'm almost
In
done.
which case,
Almost done.
we
Now I can get back to
jam.
commenting on stuff.
But I don't know. What are you doing? Slicing them?
I'm just hitting them.
Are you
Cut out bad parts.
okay? So you're not getting the skin off
No, not yet.
because you usually do that before
For
you
the
cut
jam.
them.
Yeah.
Before you cut them.
Oh, well, that's
Okay. Oh,
too late.
too late.
We'll figure it out.
We might just have skin in our jam.
Skinny jam. Now you tell me.
Now you tell me. Well, you didn't ask.
It just needed to be
I
done.
can't see what you're doing because you're behind the screen.
Hiding from you because I'm doing it wrong.
I did that when I worked for Liberty Tax Service. I hated the cost. Oh my goodness. I bet. Did you have to stand out and on the curb? Or did you do taxes dressed up as Lady Liberty? I can remember one time, oops, I made a boo-boo. One time I got a message on my phone. It's one of those mistaken messages. And he started in on something. I have no idea what he was talking about. I kind of figured it was a wrong, texted the wrong number. So I kind of did the, who is this? And he says, oh, it's James from service. You can't get your numbers right to dial the correct number. It was a snarky comeback. Oh, you were the opposite. Walk the sidewalk. I guess everybody has to, right? I bet that was hot. I see people, they're starting the pop-up Halloween shops and in town very much. But when we used to live in town in California, we lived right down the street from a building that was empty, but every Halloween it became a Halloween store. And they would always have somebody out on the corner of the intersection dressed up like in one of those big old hairy monkey suits.
Or Spider-Man. Or
Yeah.
something.
It had to have been super hot. Southern California, October is hot. Don't know how they do it. Disneyland as one of the characters, you really only work for like 30 minutes at a time, and then they bring you in and get you out of the costume and cool you off. Or so I'm told. Okay, so I'm going to do the back also.
I will be back shortly to poke at the computer again. I gotta get this out.
You're going to do some computer poking.
That's all I'm good.
Okay, so anybody else out there, what have you dressed up as for Halloween? I have nowhere to go for Halloween this year. Uh-oh. He Well, you know what just happened? My husband, if you can hear my voice twice, my husband has, pardon me. Sorry about that. My husband has hearing aids that are Bluetooth to his phone. So he hears everything through his phone. And he just stepped away to go upstairs to, I don't know what he's doing. And so his Bluetooth disconnected. And so his phone started broadcasting what he was normally hearing. That aside, let's dry this. Myself, so I had to turn off his phone. Too. I want this hat to look a little worn and ragged. So what I think I'm going to do is I think I'm going to take some of this cashew paint and dry brush it so it looks a little streaky. We'll see. If I don't like it, I'll paint back over it. This dried. There, I'm seeing Cheryl commenting. I'm seeing a just pop in and so while we make our cute little scarecrow. So you started your tiered tray, or have you just got the box and are admiring it? I see 4 eyes, but only you talking. Well, I think there's some people out there watching. They just maybe they're doing their dishes. They can't type, can't text. That's what we're going with. You started it. You started it. Can't wait to see it. You got to send me a picture. Okay, so I've got that. I've got that painted. So this is going to be our little scarecrow with his little hat. See where I'm going with it? Okay. But I want the hat to look a little bit distressed. So I'm going to take a paper towel and I'm going to take a chippy brush. I call them chippy brushes. They're purposely, you left your volume on.
Oh,
I had to turn your phone off. Okay, so I'm putting a little bit of paint on, and then I am, with this paper towel, taking most of that paint off so that I can kind of streak this a little bit. Do this side too. So I barely want any paint on this. So you can kind of see it's kind of giving it a worn look. Again, a little bit more paint, but I'm going to take most of it off. And I'm also going to do this. It looks a little streaky and stripy. I'm just going to do both sides, even though part of it will be hidden. Okay. Looks good. Looks good. Looks good. Okay. Oh, I'm going to wash my fingers off because I have them. Okay. Not okay. Still have paint. Okay, let's set that aside. Okay, so here we go. Cute, cute. What do you think? Okay, I think I'm also going to distress the edges. So I'm going to get that sanding block back out. And I am just going to go around the edges and take just a little bit of that paint off of the edges. Because you generally don't make scarecrows with your new clothes and your new hat. You kind of do it with your old junky stuff. So I don't want this to look brand new. Back to I don't think, oh, freezing.
Hmm? But she said it's freezing, and it doesn't show on my end.
Well, you can try to go out and come back in and see if that kind of fixes it. Sometimes that works. I would say if it's really bad, you can just catch the replay, but then we would probably lose everybody watching.
And I think you're on, in California, so I don't think she's freezing.
Oh, no.
I don't think that's it.
Okay, so I'm taking off some of that sawdust and I'm going to sand this one. So where it's this cashew color, I want to call it almond color, where it's this cashew color, it's not going to be as noticeable unless I sand down to the wood beneath that paint. But I think that will be worth it. I'm getting sawdust and paint dust everywhere. Okay. Clean this off. Oh, you know what? We're doing this two-sided, so I need to sand this side too. If it gets too bad, I'll switch browsers. That might do it too. Okay. Sand just a little bit more so I can get down to that brown wood if I can. Okay. I should have a tack rag, but I don't. I just have a slightly damp paper towel. Works. Yeah. So I've got it painted. I've got this ready to go. I've got it all distressed and edged. And I'm going to wax this bottom part because we are going to chalk on it. I'm going to take some of my surface wax. It's just clear paste wax. And I'm really only worried about this cashew colored part because that's where I'm going to chalk. And to buff it off. And I think I'm going to, I need to wash that. It's not buffing super well. So I'm going to take a microfiber cloth. I could just use a paper towel also. And I'm going to buff off that wax until I can't feel it, till it doesn't feel waxy anymore. And I know you're thinking, why are you putting it on if you're just putting it off? Because it is seeping into the grooves of that wood grain and giving me a smoother surface. And it is on top. There is a layer of it on top that will keep my transfer from sticking too tightly. So I've got it waxed. And so we're going to use our cute little pumpkin faces for a scarecrow face. Don't worry, it will be fine. Okay, I have used these before, but I'm still going to, not with that, I'm still going to fuzz them. Okay, so I'm going to use the big tall pumpkin face because we have a big tall scarecrow. Let me see, that's going to go on there somewhere. Let's see if I can kind of center this. Okay, it looks good. The last time we used this, we did this with our glow-in-the-dark paste. But we're not going to do glow-in-the-dark in this, although you could. There's no reason you couldn't. Okay, so I'm pushing this down to make sure there's no air bubbles, and I'm just going to chalk it in black paste. This is our black velvet, and this is just about ready to toss this jar, but I've got enough to do this cute little scarecrow. So I'm putting it on my squeegee. Squeegee it over that screen. Wipe off the excess and let's peel it up. So cute. He's a cute little scarecrow. Okay, I'm going to spray this so it stays damp until I am ready to clean it. Cute. We'll do one other thing. We're going to give him some little rosy cheeks. Make sure this is good and dry before I do that. I might do, before I do that, I might go over this a dark wax. Is it still freezing on you, Cheryl? Oh. Ooh, well, I can't see here. So I'm not watching. Well, I don't see hearts on that screen. I can see them here on this screen. So many screens to look at. Okay, so that is good and dry. I'm going to use my, first of all, I'm going to seal this up. I'm going to use my antique wax, my dark wax. This is paste wax also. This I do not sell in my shop. This you can get at a craft store or online on Amazon. And let's see. So it works the same way as the surface as the clear wax, but this is going to put just a little bit of color distressing antiquing to that cashew color, which I think looks pretty cool. And you know what? I'm just gonna go up here and I'm gonna wax this top part too. A little protective finish. Now, because I'm not going to chalk over the top of it, I don't have to completely buff it off. I'm going to wax this little guy too, just so they all match. Actually put a little bit of a sheen, a little bit of a gloss over your chalk paint. It won't be completely matte. So if I do one, I need to do all of it. And while I'm at it, I'm going to do the back. I'm not going to design the back right now, but it's ready to. I could do a different face. I could do the same face, and that way it could just be seen from 2 different angles. But while I have my wax out, I'm going to go ahead. So it gives just a little bit more dimension. Okay. That's because I just, that's Bill talking.
Yeah, it's me just commenting about the sound. It was cutting out. I've got to just make some adjustments yet. But
I know you've got one job.
Okay,
so we're gonna give it a little bit of blush. And so I thought, should I use paint? No, then I have to kind of paint a cute circle. So I have this from the dollar store. This is just eyeshadow. And this one has this little pink. And I'm going to use this little brush. And I'm just going to see if I can pink up his cheeks. Just a little bit. Quite work the way I was envisioning. It's okay. I can just kind of rub that in. Get this out. Some of it off. That kind of works. Maybe I don't really need that brush. Okay, so how's that? Does he have a cute? Oh, does he have cute little rosy cheeks? Okay, and I think it's just enough to stick to that wax. Here we go. So rosy cheeks with eyeshadow. Simple thing to do. Okay, let's glue his hat brim on. Now, one side of these, at least the Home Depot ones, has a ruler markings. If you stain this, you'll see those ruler markings. Because I painted it, you can't really see them, but kind of, sorta. So I'm going to make sure I use that side face down. And I'm going to put some glue there. Right there. Hold that down. Now, if I wanted to do the back side, I would need to cut another one of these and glue it directly on top of this one, because that doesn't really look, that side does not look finished yet. So if you wanted to do the back, you need another paint stick. But there is that. We're not quite done. We're going to do, oh, you know what? I was going to make a stand. Now, Mr. Bill has made some of these little, what is this, a 1 by, no, it's not even a 1 by, how big is this?
That's a 1 by 2 from Home Depot.
Okay, so it's a 1 by 2 from Home Depot. They come along.
Yeah, they're just
and
longer. And cut them down and put
it's like 6 or 7 inches long, and he put it through his
table saw,
and that is a kerf width. Basically,
of my blade.
Basically, it is that width. So that could make a cute little stand for your Scarecrow. But again, you might not have a husband with a curved blade. So if you don't have one of these and you want to stand it, you could just lean it. Again, we're not done with this. And you just want to stand. Let me show you how you can make it. This is one of our Simple Shapes sets. In this set, you get 2 squares and 2 circles. You could use either one. But I'm going to show you how you can make your own little stand. And so I should have painted this earlier, but I didn't. So we are going to, should we do it in the cashew? We'll do it in the cashew. Hello, Sherry. Hello, sunshine. Well, there's still sunshine out there. Okay, so I'm going to paint up this and a couple other little things that we're going to need. So we can make a DIY stand for this. So if you don't want to just lean it somewhere. And I'm doing this that cashew color. And I'm going to use the what am I going to use? The antique wax, the dark wax. I'm not going to chalk anything on this. We are just using our chalk paint. Now, to hold it up, I got these Jenga blocks, fake Jenga blocks. This was not from the Dollar Tree. These are bigger. I think this was from Family Dollar, but they would still work. They would still work. The smaller ones that Dollar Tree has would still work, but I'm using these bigger ones. So I'm going to paint these up. Because we are going to, this is what is going to hold up our Scarecrow. Here I am getting paint all over me again. Okay, I'm still going to paint the back side. Let me dry this. Oh, he's not done yet. Isn't he cute though? And in these supplies, the transfer with the pumpkin faces, it comes in 3 different sizes of pumpkins. And I don't know if you can see over my shoulder, here's the pumpkins in cutouts, and I use the 3 faces on those. Pretty cute. And it also in the pack, in the cart length, is the Simple Shapes, the rectangle, and the squares and circles. So you can make yourself up a couple of these. I think I put in some black paste packet on the face. It does not come with these. You have to get those on your own at your local paint store. Again, I suppose I could have pre-painted these, but I didn't. You want to see the whole thing, right? You want to see the whole thing from start to finish. Oh, tell me. Oh, thanks, Cheryl. He is adorable. He's going to be even more adorable. We're not done. We're not done yet. We're going to let this dry. And I'm going to finish him up. Okay. So I've got all of those pieces painted. And I'm going to dry them. Melissa, thank you. Hold on, I'll get there. Tie these up. Paint on a little thicker. It's taken a while. Okay, I'm going to let that air dry a bit, and we're going to come back to it. So here I have my Scarecrow. Now my Scarecrow needs some ribbon, and he needs some raffia, because he needs to be stuffed with straw, right? I showed you the other day, I used to buy my raffia in these big old bags, and it was just kind of a big jumbly mess, and you could never pull out one string without pulling all of it out. And then I found online on Amazon raffia ribbon, and it is raffia, but it's all contained in this cute little roll. So we're going to pull some raffia out. Okay, let's see. Is that going to be enough, you think? Oh, maybe a little bit more. Okay, so it's got like 1,000 yards or something, some ridiculous amount of raffia in there. Okay, so I've got this, and I'm going to just tie it in a knot. It's going to end up going right there. I'm going to trim those ends, and then we're going to put a bow over it. So I'm going to use this to tie the bow. And this is Dollar Tree ribbon. And I like those autumn colors, and I like the plaid, because I always think of a Scarecrow as wearing a plaid shirt. So I'm going to make a a scrunch bow. It's an awareness ribbon bow. Goes by a bunch of different names. Okay, that's way too big. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this like an awareness ribbon. You know what I'm talking about? Cancer awareness, breast cancer awareness. And then I'm going to scrunch it down in the middle like that. And it makes a great little bow.
Okay, go to the overhead camera.
Okay, so let me show you. So I started as an awareness ribbon, and then I'm just kind of pushing it all down to make a bow. I'm actually going to make it a little bit smaller. I don't want it to completely overpower this guy. And then I pulled off a little bit of raffia. So I'm going to string that on there. And it breaks like raffia does too. Okay, so instead of pulling that out, I'm just going to tie it again. You'll never know. Okay, so I have my cute little bow. It's got a little raffia center. Get that one, that one. Okay. And then I'm going to trim it up with some dovetail. Don't use your good sewing scissors when you're cutting wired edged ribbon. You'll dull them. Okay, how's that? Okay, I don't want to interfere with the face, but I do want this raffia to kind of stick out. So I'm going to trim those round parts, those loops. So what do you think of this raffia? What do you think? Is that like a game changer? It's all nice and compact. It's not all over my craft room. I got my trash can covered. Okay, so we are going to glue that down about there. And then we will glue this on top of that. And then once that is set, we will fluff it up a little bit. Hot, hot.
Where did
I
you
need
get that?
the link to buy some of it. It should be in the guides. If Bill wants to look on Raincross Farms Makery, in the section called guides, I think I put, if I didn't, I will put it there, the raffia ribbon. If not, I will send it to you. You can just Google, not Google, but on Amazon, type in raffia ribbon and you'll get a link. If you want to know the exact kind I bought, which isn't crucial, I think it's all kind of the same. I also got a big thing of white, and I got the, I have red somewhere. Here's my red. And then I got this in a kit, the red and the green and the tan, the natural color.
Go back to the
Okay, so I got these in a kit, and then I got an even bigger one in white. So they come in every color you can imagine. But it's just a whole lot easier to deal with. Okay, so now what do you think? Isn't he? Or she, I don't know. Now I could do the same thing on the back. I would have to put another one of these on. And if I put a bow right in this same spot, it wouldn't be obvious that it was front and back, if that makes sense. Okay, so let's get back to work with, turn that off. Let's get back to work with our stand. This is still a little wet, so I'm going to finish drying it. Again, you could just lay this up against something. And then you could stick it in the ground. Stick it in. Or you can make a little stand, and it can go next to your tier. Okay, so that is dry enough now. I'm going to use my dark wax so that it will match this. So let me get that out. Dark wax.
Well, I'm not seeing it in your guide. So.
Okay, so I may not have put it in the guides. I will put it in, and Cheryl, I will also contact you if anybody else wants the link to the raffia ribbon, or if you wanted to go to, I don't know how, if you wanted to go to my orders and find it and come up with a code.
I'm already on
He's already on it. I bought two different, they were two different sets. Anyway, if anybody wants the raffia ribbon link, type in raffia. Oh, you found it. Okay, good. Like I said, I think it's all the same. I can give you the exact link In fact, we are Amazon associates, so if you order from our link, we get a couple of pennies. Literally a couple of pennies. It doesn't cost you any more. Okay, and I'm going to wax up these so they all match.
Well,
Okay.
Cheryl's went on there. Mine has
Okay.
not shown up yet. There it is.
Okay, so whichever one. I don't know, Cheryl, are you an Amazon associate? Do you get credit for your link? Whichever one you like. I don't necessarily always go with the cheapest, but sometimes I really do if I really don't think it makes a difference. But I definitely don't go with the most expensive. Okay, so I'm waxing this up, and then we are going to, I'll show you how I'm going to glue it down and make it work. Get some of this excess wax off. So my glue does it, so my glue sticks. Okay, no ma'am. So, well, either way, if you like Cheryl's post better, go for it. I'm not sure what she found, but there are dozens and dozens of companies that sell it, so I'm sure it's all probably very similar. They don't all have the same colors, and sometimes they're out of stock on colors, so get what you can, what you need. Okay, let's see. Let's make this stand. So I just paint and I use the same dark wax, and now I'm going to glue these Jenga blocks down. They are going to be what holds this up. So I'm going to have to glue them down as centered as I can get. So I'm going to actually measure this. No. So that is 6 inches. So I want this at 3 inches.
You didn't have to do that, Cheryl.
What?
She said she deleted her.
Oh,
post.
you don't need to do that. Don't ever be afraid to do that. That's all good. Okay, so this right here, this edge is the center. So I'm going to put this down here. And then I'm going to stand up over the top. Make sure that is centered. Okay, here we go. Put some glue on the bottom here. And give it just a tad bit of space. Push that down. Let it set. Now this would work just as well with the smaller Dollar Tree Jenga blocks. You might even stack 2 of them on top of each other. Okay, I'm going to remove this. Now I'm going to put this here so I have my spacing right. And I'm going to get some glue on this one.
Back to the front here.
Make sure my spacing is right.
You want it tight, you don't want it too tight.
I don't want it too tight.
It's hard to get in and out.
Yeah, because I will scrape up the surface. But I'm basically gluing these down with just a little bit of a groove in there. And let that set up. And then we are done. I'm going to remember to turn off my glue gun. I think that's set. And then this will just slide in there. And look at that. Look at that.
Facial.
Now if it's got a little bit of give, that's okay. Because it's probably not gonna get touched a lot. And then you can continue to decorate it up. If you put it next to your tiered tray, you can get out your tiered tray stuff. So you can get out your hay bale. You can get out your little corn. You can get out. Let's see.
Hey,
I have.
It's
is that
only
too big?
August. Can we wait until September?
Okay, so I can get out my pumpkins. Look at that. What do you think? Do we like it? Hey,
I think it's
here
a
we go.
fine
Cute
looking
little,
thing.
cute little scarecrow. So I hope you like it. Pretty cool. If you're interested in the supplies, the silkscreen transfers, the wood shapes, type the word scarecrow in the comments and you'll get a link. I'm going to just quickly, so you can see how I do it. These things are meant to be reusable. They can be reused 10 to 12 times, guaranteed by the company. But I know you can get more uses out of them if you take really good care of them by cleaning them up. So I'm spraying it with water. And I'm starting with Swedish dishcloth or a paper towel. And I'm just getting that initial layer of paste off. You can see it's still kind of gunky. Now I'm going to switch over to my board eraser. Spray it again. This is my board eraser. It's like a magic eraser, but there are no chemicals. And then this is going to pull off the rest of that paste out of the screen. Now some of this is stained because our black is highly pigmented. So it's going to stain that green part, but that doesn't interfere as long as you get it out of the screen and dried. Now do the same thing on the back. The paste likes to hide out in the back. And this is also taking off some of that fuzz that we initially put on. And as long as my screen is clean, I'm good to go. I'm going to let this air dry with the sticky side up. And as soon as it's dry, I'm going to put it back on its backer sheet and put it back in its little plastic home. Okay, so thanks for hanging out with us. Let me put this guy back in the center. Okay, thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for following us. And I hope you make your own fun little scarecrow. You don't have to do it with chalk supplies. You can do it with just ordinary everyday supplies and make your own little face. But there we go. Here's our little cutie. So I'm going to pose with him and then we're going to say goodnight. Okay, I think that's it. Thanks a lot. We will see you next time. Tomorrow is a special day. Stay tuned. See you later. Bye-bye.